So this mini lecture is a follow-up to part 1 of chapter 12, which is the cognitive development during the school age years. So now we're going to look at Lawrence Kohlberg's stage theory of moral development. Kohlberg was born in 1927 in Bronxville, New York. After high school, he did not immediately go to college, and instead he was idealistic, and he wanted to help the Israeli cause. He assisted refugees in returning from Europe to Israel. After he did this, at age 21, he did attend college, enrolling in the University of Chicago. While in graduate school, he became interested in Piaget's work on cognitive development, and he began interviewing children and adolescents on moral issues. Piaget and Kohlberg are different in some very significant ways. Piaget believed that moral thinking fits into only two categories. Piaget said that children younger than age 11 think about rules as fixed or absolute, and rules are handed down by adults. Children older than age 11 think of rules as not sacred or absolute, but rules exist to help people get along and to help people cooperate. So younger children, according to Piaget, base their moral judgments on consequences, while older children base their moral decisions on intentions. Here's an example of Piaget's two stages of thinking. A child broke 14 cups trying to help his mother, while another child broke 1 cup while trying to steal a cookie. Younger children think the first boy did worse because he broke more cups. Older children think the second boy did worse because he had bad intentions. Kohlberg, however, proposed that moral development does not stop developing at adolescence. Kohlberg's theory says that there are 6 stages of development as compared to Piaget's 2. So let's look at these stages. Kohlberg posed the following scenario, and he was not interested in a yes or a no answer from the children, but he was more interested in the reasoning behind the answer. Here's the scenario. A woman was near death from a special kind of cancer. There was one drug that the doctors thought might save her. It was a form of radium that a druggist in the same town had recently discovered. The drug was expensive to make, but the druggist was charging 10 times what the drug cost him to produce. He paid $200 for the radium and charged $2,000 for a small dose of the drug. The sick woman's husband, Heinz, went to everyone he knew to borrow money, but he could only get together about $1,000, which was only half of what it cost. So he told the druggist that his wife was dying, and he asked him to sell it cheaper or to let him pay later. But the druggist said, "No, I discovered the drug, and I'm going to make money from it." So Heinz got desperate and broke into the man's store to steal the drug for his wife. Should Heinz have broken into the lab to steal the drug for his wife? Why or why not? Before we discuss Kohlberg's stages, we need to define an important term. The word convention means an agreement, a contract, a rule, or a method. So the word conventional, therefore, means adhering to or agreeing to follow accepted standards. Level 1 of Kohlberg's theory is called preconventional morality, and this lasts until approximately age 7. In this level, children believe that morality, or doing something right or wrong, is external to themselves. They do not speak as members of society yet. Thus, the term preconventional, or too young to agree to society standards, describes this stage. So stage 1 of level 1 is called obedience and punishment. The child assumes that powerful authorities hand down a fixed set of rules which he or she must obey. To the Heinz dilemma, the child typically says that Heinz was wrong to steal the drug because it is against the law. When asked to explain why, child says because you will get punished, and the punishment proves that it was wrong. Stage 2, level 1, is called individualism and exchange. And here children realize that there is not just one right view that was handed down by authorities. Children speak as isolated individuals and not as members of society yet. A typical response at stage 2 would be, Heinz might think he's right to take the drug, but the druggist might not think he's right. So everyone is free to pursue his own interests. What is right for Heinz is what meets his own self-interests. So a child might say Heinz was right to steal the drug because the druggist was trying to rip him off. Both stages 1 and 2 of level 1, preconventional morality, contain the reasoning that punishment is a risk that someone wants to avoid. In addition, there is no identification with the values of family or community. The next level, level 2, is called conventional morality, and this begins in the preteen years around ages 11 to 13. Stage 3 is called good interpersonal relationships. Here, people should live up to the expectations of the family and the community, and people should behave in good ways. Good behavior means having good motives, and good motives include love, trust, and empathy. So therefore, Heinz was right to steal the drug because his intentions were good. Heinz's motives were good, and the druggist's motives were bad because he was greedy. So here's a classic stage 3 response. It was really the druggist's fault. He was unfair. He was trying to overcharge and to let someone die. Heinz wanted to save his wife, and he loved her. So I don't think the judge would put Heinz in jail. The judge would see that the druggist was charging too much. The next stage, stage 4 of level 2, begins sometime during the teenage years, depending on an individual's level of cognitive development. Here the person becomes more concerned with society as a whole. The emphasis is on obeying laws and performing one's duties so that social order is maintained. A typical stage 4 response would be, I understand that Heinz's motives were good, but that doesn't make it right. Or if a person is asked why they don't speed, for example, a person would say, I don't speed because if everyone speeds, imagine the chaos on the roads. So there is an important difference here between stage 1 and stage 4. And this is that the understanding exists that laws function for the good of society as a whole. So younger children in stage 1 thinking do not have a concept of society yet. They simply say it's wrong to steal. Stage 4 thinking says, yes, it is wrong to steal, but that's because this is what allows our society to function. So the next level, level 3, is called postconventional morality. According to Kohlberg, this is seen in only a small percentage of adults, and it does not develop until late adolescence or the mid-20s, if at all. Stage 5 of level 3 is social contract and individual rights. So here people ask, what makes for a good society? At this stage, people believe that a good society is a social contract in which people freely enter, and it's a contract that everyone benefits from. So here we believe that all rational people agree on 2 points. The first one is that all people want basic rights, such as life and liberty, and all people want to be protected. The second point is that all people want some democratic process for establishing laws and also for changing laws that are unfair in order to improve society. So a typical stage 5 response would be this. The wife's right to live is a moral right that must be protected, but Heinz did break the law. However, Heinz would be punished lightly for breaking the law because the moral issue of the right to life is greater than the moral issue of the right to make money. So the final stage is stage 6, called universal principles. And these are the principles by which we achieve justice. The reasoning at this stage goes beyond stage 5, and it says that the democratic process may not always result in fair or just outcomes. So we have to have a higher stage. The principles of justice are a higher stage because they apply to all and they are universal. However, at this stage, we may need to use civil disobedience. For example, Martin Luther King displayed level 6 universal principles this way. He said that laws are only valid insofar as they are grounded in justice, and a commitment to justice carries with it an obligation to actually disobey unjust laws. So, in summary, I'd like to add some final thoughts about this stage theory of moral development. Most people in their daily lives don't just reason or operate on one level. For example, if someone is capable of thinking at the post-conventional level about serious matters such as the death penalty, they don't consider the post-conventional level when they decide not to speed on their way to work. They're going to operate at a pre-conventional level when they decide to obey the law simply because they don't want to get a ticket. The second point that I'd like to make is that understanding these levels of moral reasoning are important because the way that a person predominantly reasons, especially in important life matters, is a sign of a person's mental processes and a sign of their mental capabilities. Some people are not capable of reasoning beyond a pre-conventional level ever in their lives. And if this is translated on a larger scale to a societal level, and if a society operates only on a pre-conventional stage, then we would have a society with higher rates of crime. People would only think that a crime is wrong if they get caught. Thanks.